Every Harry Potter fan knows the story. The mother who gave her life, the ultimate act of love, Lily Potter. The hero who saved her son from the greatest dark wizard of all time. We've been told this story since book 1, and we all believed it. But what if I told you that the single greatest act of love in the entire wizarding world was also the biggest strategic mistake? That Lily Potter, the beloved martyr, is actually the most overrated and arguably the most short-sighted character in the entire series. Her choice guaranteed Harry's survival, yes, but it also guaranteed a childhood of isolation, neglect, and a perpetual dance with death.
This isn't just a critique, it's a deep dive into the flaw in the blood magic. We're going to explore the psychological contract she had with Snape, the catastrophic blind spot in Dumbledore's entire plan, and why her famous protection charm was actually a loopholes-riddled failure. We'll prove that if Lily had simply chosen to run instead of fighting, the world would have been safer and Harry would have been happier. But that's not the scariest part. The real secret lies in why Dumbledore needed her to die. Hit the subscribe button if you dare to question the narrative. Let's start with her friendship that ruined the world.
The narrative is simple. Lily's sacrifice created a charm, sealing the protective magic of love in Harry's blood. But let's look closer at the conditions. Lily wasn't trying to sacrifice herself, she was trying to protect. Voldemort gave her a choice, offered by Snape, to step aside. She refused to move. Dumbledore later explained the magic. It was the mother's love, the willingness to die that created the protection. But ask yourself, was this the best option? If Lily had chosen to run with James and Harry, using the Fidelius charm effectively, as she was initially advised, Voldemort might have been stopped by the Order long before he found them. Instead, she put all her eggs in the sacrificial basket. The charm Lily created was incomplete. It required 2 catastrophic conditions to work: her death and Harry's placement with her blood relative, Petunia Dursley. This is the first strategic failure. Any powerful magic that requires the caster's death is inherently flawed. It turned her son into a magical orphan, dependent on a relative who despised magic and resented her. The Dursley factor is Lily's greatest oversight. She knew Petunia hated her. She knew Petunia hated magic. Yet she placed a life-or-death magical burden on the shoulders of the very person who wanted nothing to do with her world. Why? Because the charm wasn't just about love, it was about blood and home. The protection worked because Harry resided in the place where Lily's blood sister lived. But it was a prison, not a sanctuary. Harry was emotionally abused, isolated, and forced to live in a cupboard under the stairs. Was this the best protection a loving mother could ensure? Or did her rash split-second decision in a moment of panic create a cruel life sentence for her son? The Dursley home provided magical safety, but it guaranteed psychological damage. For a mother revered for her love, she made a choice that condemned her child to the opposite of love for 10 years. The real irony is that Lily's love was so strong, yet she never foresaw the very real and mundane damage done by the lack of love from the Dursleys. This brings us to the psychological contract she entered into long ago.
No discussion of Lily Potter is complete without Severus Snape. Lily was his only light, his moral compass. When she cut him off for the last time, she did more than end a friendship. She severed the only remaining link that could have pulled Snape back from the dark arts entirely. Lily, in her righteousness, failed to see the power she held over Snape. She was so disgusted by his flirtation with the dark arts that she essentially signed him over to the Death Eaters. She didn't just choose James over Snape. She didn't just end a friendship. She stripped him of his reason to be good. And when Voldemort targeted her, she activated the most powerful but unstable protection of all, Snape's obsession. Lily's death forced Snape into an eternal contract of debt to Dumbledore.
Every miserable moment Snape spent protecting Harry, every insult he endured, every risk he took was done not for James, not for Harry, but for the ghost of Lily. Lily's sacrifice put Snape through 2 decades of servitude and misery. Her love forced a lifetime of trauma onto her best friend, turning him into a double agent who could never know peace or recognition. Did she consider the consequences of her death on those she loved? Did she think about the man whose heart she broke and how his debt would be paid? Lily's legacy, while saving Harry, demanded a crippling price from everyone else, especially from the man who became the unsung hero of the story. But the biggest question isn't about Snape's pain or Harry's childhood, it's about what her survival would have changed and what Dumbledore truly wanted. We'll get to that after this. If you agree that Snape deserves peace, comment below with hashtag #SnapeDeservesPeace. Now, let's talk about the Dumbledore problem. Dumbledore is the master manipulator. He is the one who recognized the flaw in Lily's decision, but he saw it as an opportunity. The prophecy stated, "The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, and the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal." Dumbledore knew the prophecy was a setup, but he also knew the prophecy needed a martyr to activate the final piece of the chess game, the blood charm. Lily Potter was not an independent hero. She was a crucial pawn in Dumbledore's long-term strategy. He needed her to choose sacrifice, because he knew that this specific, unstable magic would be the only thing to bind Harry to the Dursleys and keep him hidden until the time was right. Lily's death gave Dumbledore control over Harry's life until he was 17. Every decision, from leaving Harry on the doorstep to the yearly return to Privet Drive, was dictated by the flawed charm she created. If Lily had lived, Harry would have grown up with a loving family. The blood charm would not have been necessary or active in the same way. Dumbledore would have had less control over the boy who lived. Lily's heroic moment stripped Harry of a normal life and gave Dumbledore the perfect weapon, a boy raised without comfort, ready for sacrifice when the time came. The real cost of the hero, the most selfless act, was actually the most self-sacrificial choice for Harry's future, orchestrated by a puppet master who understood the power of grief and martyrdom better than anyone. Let's consider the alternative, the life she could have guaranteed her son. Lily Potter was an incredibly talented witch, strong, quick-witted, and loyal. Scenario 1, she runs. The Fidelius charm, though broken by Pettigrew, could have been recast or replaced by another powerful protective spell with the family constantly moving. The result? Harry would have grown up loved, with parents who could teach him and provide emotional support. He would have been a more stable, less traumatized force against Voldemort. Her fatal choice to stand her ground was a failure of imagination. It was the choice of a martyr, not a mother protecting her child's whole life, mind, body, and soul. The only way to truly protect a child is to ensure they are loved and prepared. Lily ensured the opposite. The real hero wasn't the dead mother who set the stage for Harry's misery, but the boy who had to overcome her mistake by finding his own family, the Weasleys, and fighting a war he was never truly meant to lead. The legacy of Lily Potter is one of a flawed, short-sighted strategic decision that we, the fandom, have romanticized as perfect love. But her story is a tragedy because her final act of sacrifice, while iconic, forced her son into a life of loneliness, emotional scarring, and subservience to Dumbledore's manipulative plans. The real lesson? Sometimes the greatest love is not in dying for your child, but in living and running for them. What's the most overrated character you think needs a deeper analysis? Let me know in the comments below.